Bigger question. Can a day in your life really make a difference in the life of someone else? We believe it absolutely can. That's why we've created Live to Lead for you, the ones who reach for more, look for more, seek to become more. Join us this year for Live to Lead, a simulcast event for leaders from every corner of the world. Whether you're a seasoned leader or a leader just beginning on your journey, this event will inspire you to grow, it will inspire you to lean in, and it will inspire you to make a difference. Helping you along on this leadership journey are speakers and remarkable leaders such as Warrick Dunn. Former NFL running back and philanthropist, Warrick Dunn has been a leader in countless communities through his charities such as Warrick Dunn Charities and Home for the Holidays. Cheryl Bachelder, the former CEO of Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen and author of leadership book Dare to Serve, she is a passionate leader whose stance on servant leadership transformed the face of culture in major food chain Popeyes. Ranked #1 on Inc. magazine's World's Top 10 CEOs, Cheryl is a leader who has made a significant impact on the world around her. Dave Ramsey, businessman, author, radio host, and motivational speaker, Dave Ramsey has helped thousands of people get out of their debt and lead themselves into a healthier, more sustainable lifestyle. And finally, Dr. John C. Maxwell, best-selling author, coach, and speaker. John has written over 100 books on leadership and trained over 6 million leaders in countries across the globe. His influence on the study of leadership and his impact on millions is unmatchable. There are leaders in your community who have taken the initiative to bring Live to Lead to a location near you.
Columbia, get ready to learn from renowned leadership experts from various industries, gain new perspectives, and receive insight to innovative strategies. Leave better equipped to lead and create change with renewed passion and drive. To reserve your ticket today, visit l2lcolumbia.eventbrite.com. Early bird tickets are available now until September 1st. This event is brought to you by Ron Harvey and Carolyn Yan. Please contact them for more information, including sponsorship opportunities.
Welcome back to the Meek Brown Show, the show that entertains as well as informs. Today we have a panel of guests to discuss mentoring and leading in our community. I have with me on set Ron Harvey of Global Core Strategies, and he is to talk to us regarding Live to Lead. Ron, how are you today?
I'm great, Meek, and thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. I know you have a show coming up October the 6th.
Yes.
Tell everyone about that show. What's going to take place with Live to Lead?
Yes, and thanks for that. Live to Lead is a leadership event that's kind of broadcast throughout the world. John Maxwell, which is a leadership guru for Live to Lead and just for leadership in general. And so what I've done as a business owner here in Columbia is brought the event to Columbia to reduce the time that people have to drive to Atlanta for the show, reduce the cost of it. So the cost of this is right now $79 until Friday. Early bird specials will end on Friday. And so what I've done is created a space where leaders can come in and be intentional about their growth, which means how do you make sure you get the best capacity out of who you are as an individual. And so there'll be 4 speakers that will be on the show for us on Friday, next Friday, which will be John Maxwell himself.
John Maxwell will be there.
Yeah, John Maxwell. And it's a simulcast, so I want people to understand that a simulcast it will be televised live to the convention center. And so he's doing it out of Atlanta, but we're getting a live show in the convention center that I will bring in to the convention center. So John Maxwell will speak. Dave Ramsey is another speaker that will talk to us about financing and entre leadership, which is how do you grow yourself before you grow a business? How do you, whether you're dealing with 2 people or 200 people, and you still got to grow your people. And so he talks about that. And then you got Cheryl Bartlett, which was the former CEO of Popeyes. And what Cheryl did, Popeyes at one point, their stock prices were dropping drastically. Restaurants were closing. And she came in and over 10 years have turned them around to their stock prices are up. We have at least 3 to 4 Popeyes in this area now because of what she's done. And then we have Warrick Dunn. And Warrick Dunn will talk about how to lead through adversity. And that's his biggest thing from childhood to where he's at now and how he's made a difference on the NFL field to now in the communities and helping single mothers. And so you got 4 different people that'll do 4 different things, but all tied back to how do you grow yourself? Being intentional about being a great leader. Phenomenal event, sold out last year. And I intentionally bring it to this city because I want to make a difference in our city for leaders at all levels. And
let me ask you this. How did you go about choosing these particular leaders and why?
Yes, a couple things that John Maxwell does. I would love to take credit for that. I choose them, but from his board and from the people that are with him, John Maxwell looks at what does the community need? What do we need to hear as leaders? What's new and pressing as far as issues and concerns for leaders? Ward Dunn hit the panel this year for a couple things. First, we needed a minority on the panel to show that we're paying attention to what minorities are doing outside of football, because we see Ward Dunn as a football expert, but we've never paid attention to him as a leader in the community and what he's doing outside of the football arena now. And so Dave Ramsey, financial guru, and so a lot of businesses are struggling with how do they make money with what they're passionate about. And so he'll speak to that to help you understand how to make money in your organization. Cheryl talks about when your company feels like it's about to go bankrupt, how do you turn it around? How do you make a difference in your organization because people are dependent on you to be successful? How do you get your stock prices up? You know, and I think every business goes through that financial hardship sometimes and want to throw the towel in. And so I will guarantee that if you come to this event, you will walk away with things that will change your life, change your business, and help you change this community. And that's the real reason I put it on. Our organization.
Let me ask you this. As far as, well, you know that my show, you know, try to help women empowerment, women entrepreneurship. Yes. If women came to this show, what will they take with them?
An awesome question because, and Meek, thank you for first of all working with women because oftentimes in corporate America, women are not looked at as leaders because we just haven't gotten to that place where we recognize they're just as powerful, sometimes more powerful, which intimidates some people. And so what they walk away with is what John Maxwell does so well is he understands that it doesn't matter where you come from, who you are, and your gender, that there's leadership in every person. So women will walk away because we don't separate women from men when it comes to leadership. Leadership is not necessarily a talent. It's who you are. It's what you go through the process of becoming. And so there's some powerful women in our city, in our community. That
of course there is.
Yes, and I'm here with you because you're doing it. And that's the reason I'm here. So I think it's awesome that you're doing what you're doing because honestly for us, and I know you'll be there, you'll be with us. Absolutely. And so people get to see you and shake your hand and you'll be able to be a part of what we're doing. But we have to do a better job as a community as a whole to knock down some of the barriers that's in place for everybody.
Correct. Now, why are you so passionate about what you do?
I'm so passionate about what I do because of the opportunity. I did 21 years in the military. Okay. And the background for me was being able to do something that was bigger than me, that was going to leave an impact that will outlast me, will outlive me, and my name would never be able to live up to it. And so I'm so passionate about leadership because I truly believe everything depends on leadership. I've watched good teams, if they get a bad leader, the team is really, really horrible. Now, I've watched teams that are mediocre get a really good leader and win the Super Bowl. And so when you talk about leadership, it's super important, whether your family, whether your church, whether your relationship, whether your kids, whether in our schools, whether us sitting here on the panel or the stage tonight, leadership will always lead. If you're a great leader, will make the difference. And so that's super important to me is our organization will not be a part of anything that doesn't make a difference for our community. And so we're not in it for the money. Now we need to make sure we do revenue to run our organization.
Correct.
But we don't follow every dollar. There are some people that we really don't do business with because it doesn't align with our values. It doesn't align with where we're going to. And so our integrity, our organization, and what we believe in is far more important than what someone will bring me in to make me do something that violates my integrity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I know you are a mover and a shaker in Columbia.
Yes.
So even to have you on the Meek Brown Show, I'm honored.
Thank you.
So I want to thank you for being here.
Yes.
Now, Global Core. Are you the actual CEO of Global Core?
Yes, and my wife and I own the company, and we started the company 5 years ago. So I would love to say that I am the owner, but it's a split ownership. And so for the men out there, if your wife is in the business with you, you know, it's a 50-50 split for us. And that's fair because she's the brains of the outfit. And I truly appreciate that she is. I mean, and so for us, yeah, we do own the company. Okay. We employ people in our organization. We hire interns in our organization. And so we really are putting our money where our mouth is. We're being a good role model in the community. So Global Core, what we really help organizations do is if you've lost an employee that you couldn't afford to lose, we focus on helping you keep your best talent in your organization. It's okay if you lose your bottom 10. You kind of want them to go away.
Right.
But when you lose your top 10%, that's detrimental to your organization.
It is.
You know, if you look at basketball, Miami Heat, I'm a Miami Heat fan. We lost LeBron. We're not going back to the championship anytime soon. Dwayne Wade just left, and he's going out to Cleveland now. It's so important that leaders do a great job of investing in their people, because that's what the foundation of your organization is. So Global Core, that's what we focus on. All about leadership and developing and making sure that people empower and develop their staff.
Right. And you mentioned as far as you guys bring on interns, and
Yes.
that's a part of mentoring, which
Yes.
is some things we're talking about on the panel today.
Yes.
Now, is that where you seek those internship, or,
Yes.
they come to
Yes.
you? How do they reach out to you to even want to work with you?
That's a wonderful question. When we first started, we actually had to go find interns. So we were hunting and looking. Once we started building a brand and a reputation that we were very reputable and that we were very professional, we now have interns that look for us. And so that's a good place to be in, because now we can select out versus we were selecting in.
Absolutely.
And so it put us in a better position. I tell business owners, it's important that you build a good brand. Build it before you show it. Make sure it's right. Over deliver to everyone. And so our motto is we treat every client like they're $1 million client, regardless of what they're spending with us. And I think sometimes we get caught up in that the person that gets the red carpet treatment. Every person that does business with Global Core will get red carpet treatment. And when you show up at the event on October the 6th, it's red carpet treatment from the day you walk in to everything that we do. Every person, we call everyone a guest. We don't really call them attendees at our conference. They're our guests. And so we want them to realize that we're going to treat them like guests. We want to be very professional. We want to have a great time. But at the end of the day, we want them to walk away with something different in their life, and we made an impact on them. We believe in relationships. If we can't do a relationship with you, we probably won't do business with you.
I like that. And again, you're on the Meek Brown Show.
Yes, thank you. It's a pleasure. I'm amazed I'm here with you, so thank you for offering me.
I am too. Now, the show, the event would take place October the 6th.
Yes.
And that's from 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. That's the Live to Lead. Now, do they have to worry about parking, or is it free parking?
Yes. At the convention center, it's free parking. They have a parking lot there, but it's a first come, first serve. They have about 225 spots there. Okay. And so if you get there early enough, there's free parking there. And it's on the lower level of the convention center in the Lexington room. And you can actually go on site and you can register for the event, which is at Live to Lead. It's actually L2LColumbia.eventbrite.com.
Say that one more time.
L2L, which is for Live to Lead, Columbia.eventbrite.com. And so go to that website. And what I'm doing right now on the show, early bird is till Friday, and then we will increase the prices starting on Saturday. But early bird right now at this point is at $79.
Okay.
And because of the Meek Brown Show, the first two people that call in, we will reduce that price down to $59 for the first two people that reach out to your show.
So tomorrow they could see this show on Thursday.
Yes.
And the first two people,
yes,
they'll get a discounted rate.
Yes, I will give them. We will actually sell tickets because of your show and what you're doing. We will bring their rates in for two people that reach out to Meek Brown to $59 per ticket. But you have to reach out to Meek Brown.
Tell me the Meek Brown Show don't have it going on. Okay, anything else you would like the people to know about this event? Any other information other than this event that you would like them to know about you? Tell them exactly what it is that you do. Briefly.
Yes. And what we briefly do in our community is we make a change in our community through leadership. So what we really focus on is strictly leadership through, leading under pressure. Most leaders go into a position and feel like they got it. And I've been promoted where I didn't know what I was doing. I got promoted because of technical skills, but I didn't have people skills.
Okay.
And so we focus on how do you develop the leader once they're in. And so we do a lot of executive coaching for CEOs and executives and for pastors that get into those positions and don't have anyone to say that I don't know what I'm doing because it's detrimental to their career. So we create that space to help them learn how to do their job.
Okay. So you're considered a trainer,
yes,
a consultant.
A consultant, and so I don't go into the bracket of trainer. For most people, we do training, but I tend to stay in the space of facilitator and coach. As we go out into workplaces, we'll facilitate for organizations, which we do, which I think is excellent. But for Global Core, we have one thing that we do well, and other things we refer people to. We really do well on developing leaders under pressure. Now,
and you say organizations, but if someone starting their own business and, LLC, single person, can they come to you themselves?
Yeah, and what we do, and it's not built upon our website, Meek, but what we do, and we've been known to do, is we've done pretty well. We've been blessed. I mean, we're a Christian-based organization, and we've been blessed. And so what we do is give back to small business owners. So we put on workshops to help educate business owners what it is that we've done. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to work for them all the time, but we do walk through the process of what we've learned through building a business over the last 5 years. How to build your pipeline, how to keep your revenue in, how to hire the right person, how to market right, how to get into the right place, and how to have great work ethic and stay in it. Because the number one thing we had to get over is there comes a time in your business as a business owner that you feel like you've made a mistake. And if you can get past that hurdle initially, and it's going to happen, you'll be okay, because there's 4 more stages you got to go through. But you got to get past that place of, I want to give up. And so we do that for business owners. And for the event, I would like to tell, all of our sponsors that are doing that. We have PMI, which is the Project Management Institute. They're a sponsor for us. We also have the Chamber of Commerce, which is the sponsor for us. We also have Shad Law Firm, which is a sponsor. Global Partners, which is a sponsor. Of course, our company, Global Core, is sponsoring as well. And we also have Vision Made Plain, that's a sponsor. So we have people that are really supporting what we're doing, that believe in what we're doing. And so we want to tell all of our sponsors, we could not do this without them, because to put on something like this, there is a financial aspect to it. Correct. And the sponsors have made this possible. I would love to take the credit for it, but the sponsors have really stepped up and made sure that this is possible for everyone that's going to attend. So come out and join us.
That's important for us to get this information out so we can get the community involved.
Yes.
And so that they can support and be there.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Real quickly, let everyone know again your information on how they can get in touch with you at Global Core.
Yes.
If they're interested in working with you, interning with you, how can they get in touch with you, Ron?
Yes, and thank you for that, Meek. My cell number, or I'll give you my office number, which is 803-764-1554. And then the easiest way to really get in touch with me is rharvey@GCS, which is for Global Core Strategies.consulting. And so rharvey@GCS.consulting. And again, the number for me is 803-764-1554, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Well, it has been a pleasure having you on the Meek Brown Show today, and I look forward to doing business with you soon.
Yes, yes.
I'd love to have you. You will come back.
Yes, I'll be back. I appreciate and make sure that we do what we have to do to support you as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. I look forward to talking to you.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Next on the Meek Brown Show, we have Mr. Ed McDowell. And he is here to talk to us about some mentoring and things that the city can possibly be a part of, or we can be a part of with the city. I'm happy that you decided to be on the Meek Brown Show today. You are a very influential man in the city of Columbia. How do you feel about that?
Is that right?
Well, I'm glad.
Well, Meek, I'm just delighted that you've allowed me to come and be a part of this endeavor. As you know, mentoring in Columbia and mentoring in our city is one of the part of our vision for Columbia. Of course, when we think about mentoring, we always think about young boys.
Absolutely.
But young boys are just a piece of the issue. It's a combination of young boys, young men, and of course, parents.
Right.
The city has talked about this a few years ago. President Obama, with My Brother's Keepers program, our mayor was very instrumental in having conversation with the president as it related to that mentoring piece. It is very exciting to think that you all are going to come and help us with this. I think it's interesting to note that if we don't do something,
correct,
if we don't do something that is vital, something that's going to be life-changing, transforming, we've got to hit that mentoring piece with such veracity that folks sense that we're really serious about this.
And being that, I'm only 25, as I stated, I don't think some of the kids are blessed to have certain tools and maybe resources that I was blessed with. So now we have issues such as, identity crisis. You got kids don't know which identity they want to be, and I just feel that some of that, some people say people are born that way. Who am I to judge that statement? But I just feel that if we had more leaders and more mentors, we can kind of catch their thought patterns before it get out of hand. Do you agree with that?
See, mentoring has to do with a total blanketing of that child, or that person, whether it's male or female. We understand that there is a crisis in America. There's a crisis in our city. You've heard the random numbers. You've read the statistics as it relates to gun violence.
Yes.
Most of these things are being perpetrated by young African American men.
Yes.
How do we squelch that? How do we move from disgrace to grace? How do we move from pulling up as opposed to pulling down?
Right.
I think it's incumbent upon not only the two persons that we're going to ask to help us with this, but it's incumbent upon a city
Correct.
to create an environment that's going to be that's going to enhance the lives of people. Now, remember, we've got kids, we got young men, we've got young women, but we've also got parents. Sometimes W.E.B. Du Bois says sometimes you got to miseducate to educate.
Right.
So we've got to put ourselves in focus to look at this as a real issue within the confines of our city.
I agree.
And the only way we're going to get at that is to be very intentional. We got to do some tough love.
Right.
Because mentoring is just, in my estimation, only represents 50%.
Right.
The other 50%, of course, belongs to that mom or that dad. Or
and if they don't know, how will the child know?
That's correct.
Because they're mimicking what they see.
You're absolutely right.
They're mimicking what they see.
And and the mimicking has to do with being grown when you're still a child.
Absolutely.
And how do we get a hold to that? How do we grab onto that? How do we face our own reality that some of our kids have fallen through the cracks?
Correct.
And if they fall through the cracks, there is an opportunity for us to pull them out.
That is correct.
Not to dress them up, but at least give some life skills. And that's what the city wants to do. I think that's the emphasis of our vision. One of our vision for the city of Columbia is to enhance every community within the confines of this city. And enhancing the community simply means that every young man, every young lady has purpose, has potential, and what we've got to do...
We got to pull it out of them.
We got to pull it out of them.
We need to let them know, I'm good. We need to let them know that we care.
That's correct.
You know, some kids don't get the care that we're trying to give. They don't get that from home. And that's a lack of, it could be a single parent working 2 or 3 jobs. So I'm not saying that, it's negative, but at the same time, they're doing what they have to do. But the kid is going without certain things that I may provide for my child. And that's attention. It's simply attention, because some kids, or the average child, comes home, latchkey kid, and they're pretty much home for hours. They're not instructed as soon as you get home, do your homework. No, they come home, they can watch TV, they can be on the cell phone, they can be on the iPad, they can be on the Xbox, and there's no structure. And we know teachers can't do it all.
Well, I think you're absolutely right. I call it a need deficit. Folk are looking for something to find substance in and with. Our kids, and we love them all. We've got to love them all. And of course, you got to love somebody. You can't like your way to heaven.
Right.
You got to love your way into this child's life, into this family's life. And if we don't do that, we have to first of all recognize that it is a need deficit. And that need deficit comes off in many, many ways. Once we do that, I think we are in for a cataclysmic explosion of potential, of purpose.
Correct.
And folk are able to not pull down, but to pull up. And get a real good grasp on what it means to be a young man and a young woman.
I agree.
Well, I certainly applaud your efforts in etiquette. That whole piece on etiquette has a lot to do, but that's not the first wrong.
Correct.
There are some other steps.
Right.
I think we have to take till we get to that point.
Because even with etiquette, people, they look at the word etiquette and they're thinking, oh, she's going to teach us how to eat properly. Etiquette, like I teach kids and young adults, as soon as you step out of the bed, you're starting etiquette. It's a decorum. It's from brushing your teeth. Hygiene is a part of etiquette. There's some kids don't brush their teeth when they wake up. So we got to go back to the basics. Sometimes we may have to go back, like you said, and literally give them instructions on what need to be done.
Absolutely.
All that is a part of mentoring.
But that's what Kelly does.
Correct.
Kelly does that, and he does that in such an explicit way.
He does.
And I think that's the gem. That's the gem that we're looking for within the confines of this city. Gems that you pick up, dig up, brush them off. Mm-hmm. They're imperfect in nature. Mm-hmm. And we're certainly not marking time and saying, well, we're going to get this kid and put this kid in a perfect posture.
Right.
It just simply say, I'm digging up this gem. Mm-hmm. I'm going to dust them off.
Right.
And give them the necessary life skills.
Correct. And let me say this. Now, Kelly and I, we're only two people. How do we get everybody involved? What do you advise the city of Columbia? What do they need to do?
Well, I think once a design is set, I think there becomes an opportunity for us to engage ourselves with ambassadors. Mm-hmm. Because two people can't do it all.
Correct.
No question about that.
Right.
But if you've got a cadre of folk who are singing off the same sheet of paper, mm-hmm. I think we've got an opportunity. Now, look, Miles Monroe says in one of his books about potential, he says, you know that you are a leader when you look over your shoulder and there are other folk behind you.
That's right.
If there's nothing behind you, excuse my French, but you ain't leading.
Well, let me do this. Let me turn this way.
Well, I'm behind you.
You like that?
I'm behind you.
I like that too.
Oh, you had to do that.
You like that?
You had to do that. You're leading when you give other folk the potential and the purpose to do what is necessary for something as large as this.
And they have to be passionate about it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I appreciate you being on the Meek Brown Show today.
Well, thank you very much.
I look forward to working with you in the very near future. I'm elated. We told you guys this show is a show that entertains, but heavenly informs. Next in the studio on the Meek Brown Show, we have Kelly Simmons III of KS3, which is a mentoring program. And ironically, we were just talking about mentoring in the city of Columbia. Kelly, I'm glad you are on the
Meek
show
Brown,
this evening.
thank you for having me.
How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Now, Kelly, what exactly it is that you do? What do you do?
I'm a professional. Well, first let me say this. Thank you for having me.
You are absolutely
on the Meek Brown Show. This is indeed an honor to be here. I love all the work that you're doing in the community. And so we're behind you. You definitely have an awesome movement going forward.
I appreciate that.
And so with that being said, I am a professional speaker. Mm-hmm. Leadership trainer, coach, but mentoring is my heart, mm-hmm. Which I think is what we're here to talk about a little bit. But yes, mentoring is my heart. So we have a KS3 mentoring program. But as you know, being a speaker,
Correct.
When you speak or you're doing training and things of that nature, there's always needs beyond that.
Right.
And so we wanted to be able to provide mediums to be able to help youth and adults. Mm-hmm. Primarily, we work with youth, but once again, with youth, and we probably talk about it a little bit later.
Right.
Getting to the parents and getting to the household.
Right. Now, how did KS3 come about, though?
It came about. I would say it's been my journey.
Okay.
And of course, I had both parents in my home. Mm-hmm. Dad was a pastor, all that stuff. And preacher's kid, the worst of the worst.
Lord.
But I said, I'll never be a preacher. And but never say never.
Because you are.
Yeah, because I am. And, the thing is, it's just coming through school. I grew in upstate from Anderson. And I had a dream and goal that I wanted to do something different, but I didn't really know how to get there. Because, we tell kids or people, hey, you can do this, but we don't give them the how-to.
Right.
How-to.
Right.
And so with just being a first-generation college grad, experienced a lot of different things, a lot of things I had to learn the hard way. And I said, you know what? When I get in a place, I'm going to start giving back and start helping. And so I say it's my life because my parents were always givers, servants in the community. And so I learned from them.
Right.
And so I'm able to live and carry on that legacy now through our brand and through our organization.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yep.
Now, KS3.
KS3.
I actually like that. Why is mentoring important? Why is it so important?
Why is it so important?
Why do we need it?
Well, everyone needs advice. You know, everyone looks for, advice. Whether we are, of course, being young, sometimes we think we have all the answers, because I have children, so I know how that goes. We know all the answers, and parents become dumb, when kids get that teenage age. But at some point in time, you realize that, hey, if it's moving into the next level, post-secondary, military, college, whatever the case may be, it's always good to have advice. That's why you have guidance counselors, right? So mentoring is just that, is really providing guidance. Because if you can tell me how to do something a lot better, or put it to where maybe I don't have to go through maybe the challenges that come with success, or achieving a goal, I want to listen to hear what you have to say. And so sometimes it's the other way around, because typically those that need to be mentoring, they don't know it.
Absolutely.
And so we have to, of course, identify, the needs, because it's all built on relationship.
Correct.
So mentoring is something that we do naturally, as people, as individuals. And so I did not get here where I am today on my own. Someone took the time and invested their time into me. It's not about money. It's about time. And so with that, I'm here today. And so, and I still have mentors in my life.
And I was going to say, ironically, you said that because although we're professionals and you've had your brand for some time now, and I've had mine, but I still seek, like you said, advice. I have mentors because I want to make sure the information that I'm getting and perceiving, I'm able to give that information correctly to those who are in need of the information. So sometimes I need people to say, that has changed, or let's do a little bit more research, because when we give out information, we want to make sure we're giving out the correct information.
Absolutely. And then mentoring too, that's very broad. When you talk about mentoring, it's very, very, very broad. And of course, we're talking, I think, primarily dealing with youth. And I say youth and parents, because really the two, go hand in hand, or guardians, should I say, because we do have some of our children that are not being raised by their biological parents. Grandmama, they could be in foster care. I've mentored, and matter of fact, I was in the upstate where I was talking to some youth that were in the independent living program. And so when we get an opportunity to step in, because I believe mentoring is about empowerment, educating, and people say that motivation is temporary, which it is, but my thing is that if we can motivate to get it to be where now it's transformative, where they can transform into what it is that they want to come and become, we get to say we are, we're part of that. So it's very, very important.
And the last panel guest we had, I want to go back to that for 1 second, because I want you and I to let people know, because when he made a comment about mentoring, mentoring is not just for little boys.
No.
We have to reach the lives of little boys as well as little girls.
Yes.
I think that is so important.
And I know you've done an exceptional job, with that, with your etiquette training, even though I know that etiquette is for males, boys, and girls. But, what I've learned over the years in mentoring, and let me say this, that big shout out to all of our mentoring programs.
Absolutely.
Here in the city of Columbia, across the state, everyone, there's so many different programs, and everybody's making a huge impact and a difference. But I will say that in my years of experience is that when you talk about mentoring, especially not from a community, when I say community level, I mean community, but within the school system, they ask, well, hey, we got these boys. We want you to work with. And of course, that's fine, and which we do. We have mentoring clubs, but then of course the young ladies, like at Willow Gray. Thank you for coming.
I enjoyed it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for coming to empower our young ladies there. But Willow Gray Opportunity School, where in our mentoring program we have females and we have males. And so the females are like,
let's just touch on that, because me speaking to them on yesterday, the one thing I told some of them, because they come from all walks of life,
right.
from New York from Georgia, from all over, and
That's right.
different circumstances, But when I was speaking to them, and some of them was so very intrigued with what I was saying, and I said, let's forget about why you're here.
That's right.
Because your setback strengthen your comeback.
That's right.
So now you were in a big box, and in like you said, high school, you could go to lunch. You had 20 minutes.
20 minutes, right?
Now you got 8 minutes to eat.
Right.
You don't have the leisure of going to sleep when you want to. You got to be in bed at 7 o'clock. You got to dress in uniform every day.
That's right.
Well, like we informed them, you're here now, but if you really want it, we know you have limitations, but if you want it, you'll make it work.
That's right.
Your box is bigger. It's just a little smaller.
That's right.
So get what you got to get, and let's keep it moving.
Yeah. It's I wrote a curriculum, Discovering Who I Am.
Correct.
And Lord knows, I'm still discovering who I am. And it was written from a place of kind of going back to earlier what we were talking about. How did I get here? Well, those were some questions that, of course, I had to answer. So we try to answer those questions for kids to help put them on the right track. And once again, you so beautifully help to empower, because I'll say this, sometimes we as mentoring leaders, or we feel like we have all the answers, and we don't partner. We don't get together to have others to come in where we can provide, all the tools.
And feed off of each other.
And feed off each other to give them tools to be successful. So,
that's good.
Yes.
Now, it has to be a part 2 to this, right?
Yes,
ma'am. So much
we were just warming up.
We're just getting started.
Yeah, we are just
getting started. It's been a pleasure, Kelly, having you on the Meek Brown Show today.
It's been an honor being here.
I look forward to working with you in the
ma'am.
very near future, and we just got to get the community involved, because I feel with our product and what we're doing, we can change some lives. It's just one life, one kid at a time. We can impact their lives. I think we did some of that yesterday at the school.
Exactly. And I was just going to say this, mentoring programs, what we're doing, it supplements what should be taking place in the home.
Right.
And so we're not to replace parents. Sometimes we try to, bridge the gap or create a wedge. What we're trying to do is keep families
embrace
together.
Them where they are.
Embrace them.
Then
that's
add value. There
it is. We got it.
How can our audience, our viewers, get in touch with you? Say if they need some mentoring, or their child needs some mentoring, how can they reach out?
Sure. Of course, we're on Facebook. Email ks3empowers@gmail.com. Kelly Simmons III Empowers, Facebook. Of course, same on all social media streams. We're actually making some changes to our website, Kelly Simmons III. That's III.com. Coming to you soon. But 803-261-2701. That's my number. So, we're serious about what we're doing.
Yes,
we want to make a change.
We are.
Yep.
And if you did not get some of that information, you can, again, reach out to the Meek Brown Show, and we'll be more than happy to give that information to you. And you would definitely see Kelly Simmons and I, beating the streets, trying to get the parents involved, teachers involved, more mentors. We need you guys to come on board with us.
That's right.
If you would like to be featured on the Meek Brown Show, you may email us at meekbrown@themeekbrownshow.info. Again, that's meekbrown@themeekbrownshow.info. You may also call us at area code 404-667-5073. Again, that number is 404-667-5073. We are delighted to have you guys, especially our continued viewers and support, because this cannot happen without you.
That's right.
Same place, same time. And until then, have a very sweet, meek week.